Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Raymond Ato. We're coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari pledges to promote gender equality. FG says over 200 cyber attacks blocked during presidential poll. Plus, thousands protest at Georgian against foreign agents bill. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks indeed for joining us. We begin this afternoon with Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, who has pledged his government's commitment to ensuring equal opportunity for women in Nigeria. President Buhari acknowledged the invaluable role that women have played in advancing the progress of the country since independence, saying they have continued to deliver excellently despite all odds. In a statement signed by his spokesperson, Femi Adesina, to mark the 2023 International Women's Day, President Buhari saluted women for their hard work and dedication to achieving results in different fields of their endeavor. Away from that, the Managing Director of Galaxy Backbone GBB, Mohammed Abubakar, has disclosed that the federal government blocked over 200 cyber attacks during the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. Abubakar made this disclosure at the opening session of a two-day ministerial training for GBB's board members and management in Abuja. He noted that the training was aimed at reviewing the agency's performance while initiating alternative means of revenue generation. According to him, Business Continuity and Cyberspace Protection Committee had been formed to guard and regulate digital activities while optimizing the GBB technical services. In a separate development, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has issued certificates of return to winners of the February 25, 2023 senatorial election. Chairman of INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, presented the certificates to the senators-elect at the National Coalition Center, Abuja. Recall that Yakubu had on Saturday said winners were declared for 423 legislative seats, indicating that supplementary elections would be conducted in 46 other constituencies. The elected legislators are 98, as 7 parties won in the Senate. To electoral matters now, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to fix all glitches in the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) machines before the March 11 governorship and state assemblies elections. The NBA also asked INEC to exclude its collation and returning officers with proven cases of misconduct in the February 25 elections from the forthcoming polls. National Publicity Secretary of the NBA, Accreditation, in an interim report, said the association deployed over 1,000 INEC-accredited observers drawn from the 128 branches of the bar to monitor the February 25 polls. The association also commended Nigerians for their resilience and perseverance in carrying out their civic duties during the presidential and National Assembly elections, and encourage citizens to show same values and resolve in the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force says it has deemed it necessary to educate and caution Nigerians on the use of pets, especially dogs, at the polling unit on election day, noting that such act runs contrary to the provisions of the Electoral Act of 2022 as amended. A spokesperson for the MPF, Olumiyiwa Adejobi, said dogs, according to the Electoral Act, could be classified as offensive weapons, as their owners and handlers can use them to intimidate, harass, and cause assault and bodily harm to others. Reacting, the chief spokesman for the Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council, Yunusa Tanko, frowned on the police directive, saying that what is essential in the country's security apparatus was not taken into cognizance. Also, the chief spokesperson for the New Nigeria People's Party's Presidential Campaign Council, Ladipo Johnson, advised the police to ensure that elections are conducted free and fair and security-wise, rather than concentrating on pets. In the meantime, INEC has said that the information in the bimodal voter accreditation system used for the February 25 presidential and National Assembly poll is intact. The Electoral Commissioner Lead Counsel, Tanimu Inua, gave the assurance at the Court of Appeal in Abuja while opposing an application filed by the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi on BVAS deployed in the presidential poll. Opposing the application, Inua argued that it would delay the conduct of governorship and Houses of Assembly elections scheduled for Saturday. Recall that Obi's lead counsel, Onyechi Ikpeazu's son, had reportedly argued that the essence of the application was to enable the legal team to extract data embedded in the BVAS, which represents the actual results from the polling units. Moving on, the Economic Community of West African States and the International Organization for Migration in February facilitated the safe return of 299 ECOWAS citizens stranded in Niger. According to a statement by the body, most of the 299 migrants assisted in a safe and voluntary return were men and adults, with a total of 278 men and 8 women, 286 adults, 13 minors, 150 Nigerians, and 149 Guineans. The IOM Chief of Mission in Nigeria, Lawrence Debouk, said the assistance provided by ECOWAS was an approach to migration. Debouk noted that the ECOWAS commitment to providing assistance to its citizens in need is a concrete example of the body's common approach on migration, which is aimed at protecting the rights of migrants. Now back here, as International Women's Day is celebrated around the globe with the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, the world of technology has been advised to carry women along in the area of ICT. Speaking with our correspondent Esther Otoyo on the importance of the celebration, the Regional Manager, Southeast Operations, Mary Stopes, of International Organization Nigeria, Samuel Ibuke, and the Regional Communication and Marketing Advisor of Mary Stopes OGE, Amaka, said the day is set aside to celebrate all women who are making good exploits in various fields. They also spoke on the sub-theme Embrace Equity, saying that the world needs to shift away from equality and embrace equity, which will help in accommodating women in every area of life.
Worldwide, in country, in our different states, in our different cultures, women are being marginalized, based on a lot of stereotypes that exist in our society. You find out that we don't have fair sharing between the male and the females. And a day like this, which is being celebrated globally, nationally, is a day to sensitize our people, is a day to call women, let them be conscious to, always fight for their rights and reposition themselves from that place they have been put in the society. So that's the essence of this equal distribution, fair sharing among male and female. If you have males and females in the house, how can you treat all of them fairly? Give all of them equal opportunity to thrive and achieve whatever they want to achieve in life. Don't select for the females. Because you're a female, don't go for this. You're a male, oh yeah, do this. It's not allowed. I don't think it's the right practice for us to hold on to. continuous sensitization like we are doing right now, creating awareness, let people come back to their consciousness and understand the need to train all children at the same level. If you have a male child, if you have a female child, say 2 in the house, 1 male, 1 female, give all of them equal opportunity. Like in some cultures, they will tell you that a woman is an object to be disposed because she will get married. And based on that, they won't like to invest on that girl child. They won't like to invest on her, tailoring everything to the man. In some cultures also, you find out that women are not even they don't have the right to inherit properties. You know, they are all factors that are affecting them. So you find out, you give them equal opportunity, train them so long you have the resources.
International Women's Day is a day set aside to celebrate women, to celebrate someone like you, and to celebrate all the women in the world who are making great exploits in various fields. This year's theme is Embrace Equity. And equity means affording everybody a level playing ground, opportunity to excel, putting into consideration that person's circumstance, and not actually seeing everybody as equal. So we're shifting away from equality, equal opportunity, to equity. Sensitizations like this, awareness like this, including others taking place world over, will continue to bring the consciousness to the front burner, and people will realize there is need to afford women equitable opportunities to achieve their potentials. There are factors which limit women from achieving their potentials, and when those factors are mentioned and discussed and debunked, the people who are responsible for entrenching those factors will draw back and know, people already know what I'm doing. Women are to be seen as well as heard, not only seen, but they are to be seen and heard. And women can do this when they understand the inherent power they have by nature, the inherent power the constitutions have given them, the inherent power the society has given them, the inherent power education, empowerment has given them. Women should understand I'm not just a child-making machine.
To Africa now, Egyptian authorities say a passenger train derailed at the north of Cairo, killing at least 2 people and injuring 16 others. According to reports, at least 20 ambulances were dispatched to the scene and the injured transferred to a nearby hospital. State prosecutors said the derailing happened as the train was traveling through the city of Caleb on its way to the city of Manuv in the Nile Delta, and the injured victims are in stable condition. Still in Africa, Madagascar's government says Cyclone Freddy is expected to make landfall again in Mozambique later this week after it struck Madagascar for a second time on Monday. According to the government, 8 people were killed and more than 1,000 homes were destroyed in the last incident. Reports say the storm first wreaked havoc in southeastern Africa in late February, killing 21 people and displacing thousands in both countries. Meanwhile, the Weather and Climate Extremes Evaluation Committee of the UN says it will set up an investigation into the remarkable and rare occurrence after the cyclone has dissipated. On the foreign scene, protesters have clashed with police in Georgia's capital, Sili, after Parliament backed a controversial draft law which critics say will limit press freedom and suppress civil society. According to reports, riot police used water cannon and pepper spray to disperse the crowds outside the Parliament building. The government says several policemen were hurt and police gear was damaged. Meanwhile, U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said the draft legislation would be a tremendous setback and would strike at some of the rights that are central to the aspirations of the people of Georgia. He warned that the bill is incompatible with EU values and standards. Still on the foreign scene, the United Nations Refugee Agency has said that the government's proposed asylum law is very concerning and would block those with a compelling claim. The United Nations representative to the UK, Vicky Tennant, said the measure would allow and break international law and was not needed to stop channel crossings. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said he is up for the fight to bring in the law and overcome any legal challenges. Still to come in the news. Chelsea defeats Borussia Dortmund to reach UEFA Champions League quarter-finals. Just stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. And now in business, the scarcity of premium motor spirits, otherwise known as petrol, in Abuja and other northern states could persist till after Saturday's gubernatorial elections in various states. According to oil marketers, petrol scarcity became severe in Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger and other states in the north, as thousands of motorists besieged the few filling stations that dispense the commodity in these areas. Report says that the cost of petrol rose to as high as 400 naira per litre at filling stations operated by independent marketers, while black marketers sold the products for between 450 naira per litre to 500 naira per litre. Meanwhile, the National Vice President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abubakar Maigandi, hinted that the scarcity of petrol in the northern part of the country and some other states would drag till next week. Still in business, local airlines under the aegis of the Airline Operators of Nigeria have disclosed that aviation fuel, popularly known as Jet A1, has become scarce. A situation, according to them, may lead to flight delays. Assistant Secretary, Airline Operators of Nigeria, Ewosivero, disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja. Meanwhile, the spokesperson for Ibom Air, INEC, said aviation fuel price as of Tuesday was 800 naira per litre in Lagos, 840 naira per litre in Uyo, 840 naira per litre in Abuja, and 840 naira per litre in Port Harcourt. According to a report, the Nigerian aviation sector spent $192 billion in 2022 on aviation fuel alone. To health matters now, the number of adolescent girls and women aged 15 to 49 years who are undernourished has soared from 5.6 million in 2018 to 7.3 million in 2021 in Nigeria. Now, according to a global report released by the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, Nigeria is among the 12 hardest hit countries by the global food and nutrition crisis. The 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Chad, Ethiopia, Kenya, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Somalia, South Sudan, and Sudan, as well as Yemen, represents the epicenter of a global nutrition crisis that has been increased by recent impact of COVID-19 and exacerbated by the war in Ukraine and ongoing drought, conflict, and instability in some countries. The UNICEF report warns that the ongoing crisis, aggravated by unending gender inequality, are deepening a nutrition crisis among adolescent girls and women that had already shown little improvement in the last 2 decades. Meanwhile, UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell said the nutrition crisis is pushing millions of mothers and their children into hunger and severe malnutrition. Well, still in health, a study by Global Reproductive Health has said that the removal of heavy metals in the body, which hinders fertility, is possible through modern-made decortication. A test conducted at the Genova Diagnostics Laboratory by Oluwole Ogunshola, Dr. Atinuke Adeyi, and Professor Oladapo Ashiru explained that a bioenergetic test reveals the types of heavy metals present in the patient's body. According to the study, heavy metals, once taken into the body, are distributed in the blood and deposited in the tissues, and the contamination chain follows a cyclic order from industry to the atmosphere, the soil, water, and foods before the humans. And now in sports, Graham Potter's enjoyed his finest night as Chelsea manager as they overcame a first-leg deficit against Borussia Dortmund to reach the Champions League quarter-finals. Potter was under huge pressure after a dismal run of results following Chelsea's huge outlay in the transfer market. But he will hope the manner of the 2-0 performance and the advancing to the later stages of Europe's elite competition will deliver a measure of calm and stability to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea fully deserved their win, although they squandered several big opportunities before Raheem Sterling made the breakthrough after 43 minutes, firing past Dortmund keeper Alexander Meyer after initially fluffing his shot. The goal, which settled the tie and overturned Dortmund's 1-0 advantage from the first leg, came in contentious fashion from the penalty spot 8 minutes after the break. Dortmund were furious when a VAR review penalized Marius Wolf for handball from Ben Chilwell's cross, and the sense of injustice heightened after Kai Havertz struck the post with a spot kick, only for a retake to be ordered. At this time, Havertz made no mistake, and Chelsea were on their way into the last 8. But still in sports, UEFA is to refund Liverpool's fans who had tickets for the 2022 Champions League final in Paris. It is following a recent independent report that found UEFA bears primary responsibility for the chaotic scenes before the game against Real Madrid. UEFA said the refund scheme covers all of the Liverpool FC 19,618 ticket allocation for the finals. Meanwhile, Liverpool were also part of the process of securing refunds for their fans, as supporters bought tickets from them directly rather than UEFA. The club will administer the process, recalling that UEFA and French authorities initially blamed ticketless fans for the events outside the stadium. And now in entertainment, Nollywood actor DTH Johnson recently shared the names of his twins on social media with his fans and followers. But this came hours after a naming ceremony that had just a few friends and family in attendance. The actor revealed that he and his wife, Seyi Edun, had named their twins Ayomikun and Ayomiposi, drawing on their Yoruba heritage for inspiration. Recall that Johnson and Edun have been married and waited to have a child since 2018. Still in entertainment, veteran Yoruba actor Ojo Arowosafe, popularly known as Fadeye Oloro, has passed away. According to reports, the actor died after losing a battle with protracted illness. It was reported to have struggled with the illness for a long period of time. Fadeye was one of the best on-screen villains in the Yoruba movie industry, known for his darkened face and the use of guns to settle disputes. But that's all we have for you at this time. Many thanks indeed for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And do also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more feeds. Just search on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching the news at 12. Thanks for joining us. I'm Raymond Ita. Good afternoon.